Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Comic Book Wednesday for September 11th, 2013. Um, okay, so, yeah, we're on to the second week of September, and we're going into more of the Villains Month, which is stupid from DC again. I already am complaining about that, but there's that. But I know that some of you were like, wait, why wouldn't you look at this villain book? Or why didn't you look at this villain book? Well, I've had looked at a couple of them. I haven't looked at, all of them purposely because, well, I didn't want to get them. I only wanted to get the Batman villains. I don't care about the other villains, really. But I did look at a couple of them last week and this week, and the ones that I did look at were the Two-Face one, which I thought was okay, the Ventriloquist one, which was weird, I didn't understand it whatsoever, the Sassad one, which I didn't understand either. Count Vertigo I actually thought was pretty freaking awesome, but I don't read Green Arrow, but I'd love the character of Count Vertigo. I would have picked it up if I was more interested in him. Dark Side, which I thought was okay, wasn't the best. Deadshot, which is a tragic story, I can't believe that. And Bizarro, which I didn't understand whatsoever. Why the heck did it follow Lex Luthor? This week's, I looked at Zod, which I have to admit was pretty awesome. Zod's book was awesome. Black Manta, I was very surprised with this book. I'm not the biggest Aquaman fan, but I do think Aquaman is pretty freaking awesome. I have to admit that. Yeah, he can be a total badass. And his enemies are pretty chill too. And the cool thing about this book is so far it's the only book that's taken place during Forever Evil. Like, this is during the Forever Evil issue 1. And the way that Black Manta's character arc goes through is actually pretty cool. You're going to see definitely the villains team up with other villains. Also looked at the Court of Owls, which, I'll be honest, it was okay. I'm not the biggest, Court of Owls guy. When the original series came out, I was like, that's cool. I read the Harley Quinn book, which I thought was tragic as well. To admit that, it was pretty sad. And I also read the Brainiac one, which I thought was boring. I couldn't understand what was going on, and I didn't care for it. And then I read the Trigon one, which was just too confusing for some readers. But I did pick up one, and you'll probably already know what it is from the title. Maybe. I'm not sure. I didn't put it up there. Last time, I didn't put the Joker up there, but I'll probably edit that and change it to the Joker when I get the chance. But right now, I'm going to talk about the books for this week. So the first book that we got is Mighty Avengers #1. And yes, this is a tie-in to Infinity. Do I care that it's a tie-in to Infinity? No. I'm just interested because it's an issue 1. That's pretty much it. But I'm kind of interested to see what the story's going to be like, since it's about the heroes who were left on Earth to defend it from Thanos' attack. But that's pretty much all I know about it. And that's pretty much all I care about it, because I'm probably not going to pick up any issue after this. But the next issue is the Riddler #1, or Batman 23.2. And yeah, it is a 3D cover, as you can see. Ooh, it's coming out towards you. Ooh, who cares? Anyway, yeah, so Riddler is up to bat. This is the only book in the Villains Month that is actually written by Scott Snyder, and it is kind of tied into Zero Year. I haven't read it yet, but I'm kind of interested to see what is going to happen. But other than that, let's see how it goes. It's a one-shot. It's about the Riddler. Let's see what's going to happen next. Alright, so with that being said, though, let's go and talk about these comics. Alright, guys, we are back to Comic Book Wednesdays, and let's talk about these books now. Very surprised this week. I think they were very interesting books. There's only 2 of them. And I do apologize if there's noise. There's a storm coming. Kinda. Like, just bad weather. Anyway. The books this week were pretty good, even though there was only 2 of them. And the other issues that I didn't pick up that I read at the store are actually pretty good too, but I couldn't really pick those up. But let's first talk about the books. First, we have Mighty Avengers numero uno. Mighty Avengers was pretty good, I have to admit. There were issues with it, definitely. I didn't like some of the characters, especially... Again, I don't like Superior Spider-Man. I don't care that it's Doc Ock. I don't care that I'm supposed to accept the change that it's Doc Ock. I just don't like his character. Okay, I know, but they're gonna... The sooner or later that they eventually switch him back to Peter Parker, kind of maybe the better, honestly. Because the change is... I don't... It's not that I don't like it. I was accepting of it, but now it's just... I don't know. It just looks bad in general. Because... I don't know. The character... Even though technically he is a hero still... Yeah, I don't care about his character. But Luke Cage I really do enjoy. Even though Spider-Man does trash talk him. You also have Power Man, who is from the Avengers Academy, and White Tiger from the Avengers Academy. You also have... Shoot, I don't remember her name, but she's like a light. She's like, I think it's Spectrum. I think that's what her name is. Which is really cool. I like her character, even though I've never read... I think I've never read a book from her. I don't think so. And White Tiger I know from the Ultimate Spider-Man show, even though I don't watch it anymore because it's stupid. And Power Man I don't know. Because all I'm thinking about Power Man is how Luke Cage used to be called that, which is really weird. I don't know. It's still weird to think that in the Ultimate Spider-Man show that Luke Cage is supposed to be a teenager, Iron Fist is supposed to be a teenager, White Tiger is supposed to be a teenager, Nova is supposed to be a teenager. Even though 2 of those are true, and when you look at the comics, you're like, oh, Luke Cage is older. Yeah, that kind of looks bad on their part. Besides the point of my hatred for that show. It's okay. It was pretty good for what it was for a first issue. Not interested in picking up any more. It is basic. You can really tell that this is tied into Infinity because they are defending Earth from Thanos' attack. Because Thanos is actually in the book. I'm not gonna... There's a little spoiler for that, but he's literally at the beginning of the book. So it doesn't matter. So, there's that book. And then the other book we have is Batman 23.2 or The Riddler. Yep, still got that 3D cover. What up? What up? I don't care. I don't care about these 3D covers. DC's just gonna make a bunch of money off of them. And it was funny, I'm gonna tell this little story before I go into it. Going into my store today, they were already sold out of the Harley Quinn 3D covers, which are very popular. And the book was actually really good. If I really was interested in picking up more Detective Comics, that book I probably would have picked up. But other than that, I don't care. I would have picked it up for $3. They had a couple of standard issues for it, but I don't have $3 on me. I only had the $8 to go buy this stuff. Yeah, but I thought it was pretty cool. But that's all I gotta really say about that. That these 3D covers have been selling out like quickly. Like when I was there, they sold out on the Lobo ones, the Solomon Grundy one, the Harley Quinn one, like I already said, and they sold, I think it was Relic. I can't remember, unfortunately. I don't care. At the same time, they had a bunch of Zods. They had a bunch of Riddlers when I last saw. They had a bunch of them. But I don't really know what they're going to do. But DC is already going to fuck up next week when they don't release enough 3D covers for next week's bunch. So, there's that. However, let's talk about the Riddler finally, and I really did enjoy this story. You can clearly see how this is kind of tied into 0 Year, and how the Riddler kind of acts on his own. I have to admit that it's kind of crazy what they kind of put him through. He kind of was abused through his stay at Arkham, believe it or not. You can clearly tell that. And I can't help that. Feel sorry for him for a bit, but then again, he is a psychopath who kills people. And the last kill he does in the book, oh my gosh, it was insane. Oh, I'm so impressed. And before I say any more, I did say Scott Snyder wrote this one. technically he made this story, but it was written by Ray Fawkes, who you may know for nothing really. He's just starting out at DC, and that's basically all Villains Month is. It's basically putting out a bunch of stuff for the new writers to get out, or some of the older ones who are only working on this one series. If they have like a multiple series issues for these villains, they get the new writers that they're trying to get in and do these villains issues to see if they'll be able to impress more. I could see Ray Fawkes doing more because this is actually a very interesting story, even though it's Scott Snyder's story. But it was the dialogue was very good though. I really enjoyed the dialogue between the characters, even though it was mostly Riddler's head, all the dialogue. But the art was actually pretty good, even though it was Greg Capullo. We're saving for next month when we have to buy the $7 or $8 issue of Batman number 24. Yeah, that's going to be a big one. We already know what that one's about, but let's not go into that right now. But we're very excited because, the main villain is the Riddler. So we get a good look at that. Alright, so I only had 2 books, so which one should I say you pick up more? I say go for the Riddler over Mighty Avengers. I thought it was better. There was a bunch of Villain Month issues that probably already sold out by now, so unfortunately you might not be able to pick them up at your local shop. But there's a lot more that were better than Mighty Avengers, but I think Riddler so far is the best villains book, in my opinion. The Harley Quinn one probably comes second. The Joker is in there too. Yeah, kinda. I thought Zod was actually pretty good, again. I'm going to be reading more next week when I go to the shop. I'm going to be reading them when I get there. And I have decided something that I want to tell you guys. Let's talk about the comics that are coming out next week, and then I'll talk a little bit what I'm going to do in the future, what I'm going to do for the month of November, because November is very specific for certain comics. But next week, we have 2 comics from DC and 1 from Marvel. Yeah, not that many I'm picking up right now, unfortunately. I'm trying to save a little bit of money, and I'm trying to actually get the good books that I actually really do enjoy right now, rather than picking up stuff that I know might not be good. So, that's the thing. I gotta work on that, plus my collection, I fucking look at all that. That's on my wall, by the way. Yeah, these are all on my wall. Yeah, I'm kind of working on lowering the collection right now until I get a little bit more money. But until then, we're slowly getting there to more comics. The month of November, trust me, you're going to be packed with stuff. And I'll explain that in a little bit. But next week, we're picking up Batman 66 number 3. I did enjoy number 2 a lot. I thought it was a very cool story. And, it involving the Penguin and Mr. Freeze, freezing up the place. I'm waiting for the issue with Joker, though. You think they're ever going to bring in the Joker? They're supposed to. They're also supposed to bring in non-canon characters that weren't in the TV show into this, like Killer Croc. He wasn't in the TV show, but they're going to give him the 66 style, which will be really cool. The next one after that is Batman 23.3, which is the Penguin. Interesting because the Penguin hasn't really been involved in the Batman series that much. Really, the only time you really see him is towards the end of Death of a Family. Because mostly he's in Detective Comics for that one. Batman really was dealing with him in Detective Comics, not really in the main Batman series. But the Penguin will be interesting to bring into here. I rather would have put someone like Clayface into Batman because he was kind of the villain in the last couple of issues before Zero Year. But, that's what we're going to do. We're going to stuck with that. And I can't really do anything about it. But the Penguin's a lot cooler villain, though. That's the thing. They're trying to get the more cool villains on the Batman one. So, they're trying to get Joker and Riddler and Penguin and Bane. That's all the characters for the Batman series. And they got some of the minor characters for Detective and Dark Knight and yada yada yada. That's basically it for that, though. That's it for DC. So only the Penguin and Batman 66 number 3. For Marvel, Infinity number 3. Looking forward to it. The series is going good so far. Unfortunately, though, I think Marvel is kind of going overhead with the events still. Again, I just think that there's too many events going on. Calm down, Marvel. It's okay to take a break and just do one event every year. You don't have to have 6 events in one month. Like, seriously. I'm not even kidding. It's weird because already there's 3 events going on right now in different comics. You already have the Hunger series going on, which is a Age of Ultron thing. You have the Superior Spider-Man meeting with 2099, which is its own freaking event. You have Infinity, and then you have Battle of the Atom. Seriously, that's 4 right there. You need to calm down, Marvel. People need to take their comics in doses, and putting like 6 events out is not good. And I'm not just talking to Marvel too, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to DC because I want to talk to them when I go into November. I'll talk to them. I'll talk to you guys about it. But yeah, Infinity number 3. So I'm looking forward to them. I think probably that Batman 23.3 will be the best. But then again, I haven't gotten there yet. The villains books have been pretty good so far, even though I don't really agree with the fact that they're doing these. So yeah, we'll just have to wait till then to really flesh out what we're going to talk about. But let's talk about November now, since I was really kind of on the subject about it. So November for DC is 0 Year Month, and you know how I feel on the stance of tie-ins. I'm not the biggest fan of collecting them. Well, November will be kind of a big month for me because I decided I'm going to collect all the 0 Year tie-ins that are going around the other comics for that month, and they're going to be the only tie-ins. Probably. The rest is just going to be on Batman. I think it's probably going to be good. Here's the thing, though. I was already going to collect the Nightwing one because I collect Nightwing. I love Nightwing. Nightwing is absolutely my favorite comic book character of all time. Why would I not collect his series? That's the thing. So I was already going to pick that up. So I'm like, well, there's that. I already have one tie-in. I guess I'm kind of stuck with it. But, and the other thing is it's $5, too. That's how big of a tie-in it is to 0 Year. So it's going to be 40 plus pages probably, and yeah, Kyle Higgins won't mess it up. Him and Scott Snyder have great chemistry together with writing, so they'll have a good talk for it. This is supposed to be during this blackout that was supposed to happen, which I'm not really sure what's going to happen because I don't want to get too spoiled. But I'm also going to be picking up the rest of the tie-ins, and the reason why is they're interesting, I'm kind of interested to see how these tie-ins kind of fit in. You're going to have Action Comics. You're going to have Green Arrow. You're going to have the Green Lantern Corps, Detective Comics, Batgirl, Red Hood and the Outlaws, which is probably the one that I'm not excited to get at all. You're going to have The Flash, and I believe I'm missing one. Catwoman, which is okay. I'm kind of surprised they didn't put Teen Titans in there just to kind of do a Red Robin story, but you can't really do anything about it. Of course, Batman and Batwing. That's what I was forgetting. Batwing, the Lucius Fox kid, which, I don't know. I don't really agree with Lucius Fox being the new Batwing. I like the African kid who was Batwing more than Lucius Fox, but, I can't really do anything about it. If I missed any more, November, you'll see them. That's all I'll say. But, yeah, I'm picking up those issues for November, but there's going to be a lot more books. Marvel and DC have a couple more books. I believe that there's the Injustice Gods Among Us annual coming out. It includes Lobo in the story. Where does Lobo fit into the Injustice story? Finally get that answer, which will be pretty cool, I have to admit. Pretty cool. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to really talk about today, guys. So leave in the comments below, what comics should I picked up, even though I wouldn't have picked them up because I didn't have the money. Tell me about what Villains Month you're really interested in right now. What books do you think was the best so far? What books sucked? Because I'll tell you, there have already been a couple books that have sucked, probably. And I probably haven't read them, but they probably have sucked. I'll tell you that. Do you think this was a smart move by DC to have this Villains Month still? Yeah. Kind of interested to see what people's opinions are of the Villains Month, definitely. Because I'm totally not for it, even though I have to continue my collection, because my Batman comics need to be collected. What can I say? I've been collecting them, since issue 1. But, with that being said, thank you for watching this Comic Book Wednesday. I hope everyone has a safe day today. And we already know today is a national landmark for the United States, so I don't really want to go into that, but because people might be watching this in the future, so we don't really need to look at that. But again, just if you are watching this on the day of the air, respect for 12 years ago. I'm glad that we're moving on from it and that we're being stronger from the event. We're building up. So with that being said, though, thank you for watching. Please, leave in the comments below what I already asked you, and I'll see you next week.